What's up, guys? Ben here, bringing another video today. We're gonna try something interesting. We'll see if it works. I put out a tweet this afternoon. I asked the timeline for some hot takes about MW2 and CDL. We're gonna review them. I'm gonna let you know if it's hot or not. Let's dive in. All right, we're gonna go through these one by one, rapid fire. Let's start from my boy Michael. CDL should just play the game as it comes, or as close as it to possible. There's another person, Devlo, that said CDL Pro should play the game straight out of the box, no GAs, anything goes. Honestly, this is a fire take because I don't agree with it. We'd have UAVs, they'd have counter UAVs. It would be chaos. There's so much stuff that I think would just like not make for a good viewing experience or a good playing experience. So I don't necessarily agree with it. All right, this time from Michael Barish. That's my boy right there. Clayster will join a top 14 before Major 3. Wow. I would say fire take. Definitely hot. I could see it. Clay's definitely probably going to be or want a decent salary. If he's going to join another team, he's probably going to want a multi-year deal. I guess it's possible. But you look at like a lot of teams, I think they're pretty settled at the main AR position. But I can see Clay's stock definitely going up after event 1. So we'll see what happens. All right, from my boy CD, New York doesn't make it out of groups at Raleigh. Not a hot take, but we've talked a lot about the format for Major 1. It's 3 pro teams in a group of 1 amateur team and only 2 get out. So it's entirely possible that a team like New York does not make it out of groups and like doesn't get top 2. All right, from Nick Grinsicle, Brack is going to have a top 10 KD this year. Some of y'all might think this is a fire take. I actually really like this take. I maybe somewhere in the middle. It's just like a room temperature take, because we can definitely see surprising players get a top 10 KD, and I think Brack's really good one-on-one, like super skilled player. So maybe some of y'all think it's a fire take, but I actually think it's pretty realistic. All right, we got a super fire take from Shaw. Fire 40 greater than Scump and Crim combined. I just left this in as a troll. Definitely as bad a fire take as it gets. All right, one from Zuma Bernard. Benji Nissim leaves the flank. Unfortunately, guys, I'm going nowhere, so that's a fire take. Not happening. Next up, we got Sharp Haruka. The Thief season will go horribly and they'll lose full with MW2 and Octane will retire. I think that's a fire take. Is it possible they don't have a good season? Absolutely. I could see them getting frustrated with MW2, but I don't think Sam is retiring anytime soon. That guy's still got a lot left in the tank, so I don't quite see it. All right, next up we have one from Tyler. Scump won't last the entire year. This is a fire take. I don't see Seth as a guy that's going to quit mid-season, even if they're having a bad season next game. I think he's going to see it out, try to make it to champs, and then get his send-off at champs. It would be insane to me, and I think he doesn't want that, to not have to play a final champs and really have that like really good kind of ride in the sun moment. So I don't think it's going to happen. Definitely scorching hot take. All right, next up we have Swoosh God DJ. That's actually kind of a cool Twitter username. Boston will become Sunday regulars. He's referring to my tier list. My like S8 tier is called Sunday regulars, the top 4 teams, seeing them at Sundays at events. I actually agree with this take. I think Boston's got what it takes to make it to that tiered. Well, I think they do it. I think we'll see with time. And there's a lot of competition, but I don't think it's that fire of a take. I think a lot of people agree that Boston can be pretty good this year. All right, next up we have Stussy. Las Vegas Legion will win an event this year. I would say room temperature take. Is it likely? Probably not. Could it happen? Absolutely. I think actually way more than past seasons for the Legion team, especially with Clay and Temp, and I think the ability they have. I just think their 2 sub players aren't as strong as some other duos, so maybe they get a hot weekend or something. But right now, I think they're probably ceiling is like top 4. Next up, we have a take from Piscario DB. Players with solo play styles will perform better than those with fast, more hectic. I guess this is kind of a fire take. I mean, look, this is sort of a pre-aim game. A lot of people joking it's like pre-aim warfare. But that being said, like the players who play fast know the timings, know how to get behind people. Like they're still going to get their kills. You know, we're talking about the elite sub players like a Shotzi or a Simp. Like they're still going to find a way to get kills. And from what I've heard in scrims, actually, there are a lot of sub players that are playing really good right now. They're all not all just getting smoked. So I don't know if I necessarily agree with this, but let's see what happens in a real match once the season starts. All right, next up we got Ryan. Las Vegas Legion have the potential to be a top 6 team if they get a good sub to replace either TJ or Prelude. They just need a little more slaying power. In my honest opinion, no disrespect to either SMG, they both deserve to be in the league. Missing some periods in that tweet. I don't think there's a fire take. I think it's a pretty common opinion that a lot of people have. Their team is good. They need some sub upgrades. Pretty good summary, I think, of what they need to do if they want to improve throughout the season. Next up, we got Scythe. Vanguard was a better game than MW2 for comp. I think there's a fire take because how are we supposed to say this when we played 0 competitive matches? Come on, guys. Is it possible? Sure, but we've seen 0 matches so far. So let's slow the roll a bit on that one. We got one from Jose R. NYSL doesn't make champs. Not a fire take. The middle pack teams, it's super crowded. Bunch of good teams are not going to make it to champs. It's definitely possible that New York is one of those. I mean, it almost happened last season as well. Next up, we got one from my boy Mike over from the Achievement Hunter Internet Box. the Rooster Teeth circle. Activision purposely made COD games huge to fill up hard drive space to force consumers to choose between their games and others. That's a super fire take out of Mike. I mean, look, I kind of see where he's coming from. Like, you try to update a COD game and it's like a 40 gig update. Like, I think even if I remember, this game shipped and there was nothing on the disc to fully download. So I guess it's entirely possible, but I think it's a little bit of a conspiracy theory out of my boy Mike. So we'll leave it at that. And we got one from Flashy. Optic ends this year with Shotzi looking for 3 or Mega hot take, Scump retires, Dashi quits to pursue other esports, Shotzi goes back to Halo for Optic, and Illy either looks for 3 or Optic looks for 104. So 2 different ones. Optic ends his take with Shotzi looking for 3, not a fire take. I've been saying that on my stream and on the flank now for a minute. The second one is definitely a mega hot take for a number of reasons. I really don't see Bruce like leaving Call of Duty to go to another esport unless he gets a like out of the box top tier Valorant team offer. I don't think he's going to grind through like an amateur thing. And I don't see Shotzi going back for Halo because right now I think the Halo pro scene is definitely in another crossroads situation. There's not really the money there. I guess if he's passionate about it, sure, but he's got a pretty secure feature in COD right now, so it would need to take something crazy for that to happen. All right, next one we got from Marstar Anon. Vanguard is a top 3 and most entertaining CODs of all time. You know, a lot of people might think this is a fire take, but I actually agree with this. Last year was super entertaining to watch. I don't know if it was just like the way the maps ended or just sort of like how things broke down the game, but it was super exciting to watch, especially at events. So I don't necessarily disagree with this. I haven't really, like, as we do this, I'm trying to think like if it's really top 3, but I personally think it's a fair conversation for sure. Definitely not a top 3 COD game to play though. I'll say that. All right, we got one from Scion. Illy will be regular season MVP. Fire take. I love Ender for sure. The likelihood of him being a regular season MVP and like slaying at the level needed to be that title, I don't think is very likely considering the people on his team, and he ends up being sort of a gap fill in that. So I would say scorching hot take. For sure. Jonathan Gravely comes in. FaZe won't end the regular season top 2. Ooh. I mean, we've seen them end top 2 all 3 years in the CDL so far, so that's definitely a fire take, but it's definitely possible. Teams have gotten a lot better over the years. It is definitely very competitive. FaZe has obviously sort of been super consistent since the beginning of the CDL, but you never know. A fire comes in with Toronto Ultra is not going to be a top tier team. And here's why. Unless the Young Bucks have that chemistry down with among themselves, them sleeves. Okay. And their new coaching staff, then they will be set. They have a monster roster on paper, but execution-wise, it's going to be a rough start. I think this is a fire take, but I will say I was kind of arguing this a little bit in one of my like videos over the summer with Toronto. Like, I think they have a lot of potential ceiling, but there's a lot of changes and upheaval sort of in the organization with players leaving, front office people leaving, coaches. So there might be a little bit of bumps, but I actually think they may start off the year strong. Like, Scrappy looks really good in this game. Sandy looks back to form. So we'll see if it happens, but I wouldn't be surprised if they have a slow start. Zeta says, people are going to be more interested in watching the COD mobile champs than Major 1 CDL because of the nostalgic OG COD maps on COD Mobile. Actually, that's a pretty fire take. I mean, COD Mobile to me, if you've never watched, it's actually very entertaining. It's worth a peep if you're on YouTube. I don't know if it's getting more views than like CDL, but you know, I think it's definitely super interesting. If you're not following that scene, I definitely would start doing so. Corbin comes in with the Toronto Ultra will be a top 3 team back with Standy being a top 5 sub. So the opposite of that take from earlier. Not a fire take. I think people are really high on the Toronto team. And like a lot of teams, they have that top 2, top 1 ceiling. I can definitely see it with the talent they have on their squad. Wilkes comes in with Optic win champs on Scum's farewell tour. What a moment that would be, ladies and gentlemen. His final match, they win. He goes off into the sun. Not a fire take. I think a lot of people are definitely rooting for that one. XP Fuel says MW2 has a bones to be the best competitive game to watch. Some of y'all might think this is a fire take. I think this game kind of pace-wise might feel a lot like World War II, which was pretty entertaining to watch. I don't know if we're going to get there, but it's super, super early. Control right now is, I think, sort of the barrier on this being the best competitive game to watch, but let's see how the year unfolds. I'm going to say fire take. Spooky Boston. Boston Breach's #1 fan comes in with Zinni and Wake are an underrated duo. It could potentially be a top 4 AR duo in the league. Not a fire take. I think a lot of people think they're nasty. Boston fans, look, you guys are not like a dark horse team this year. Everybody thinks y'all are going to be good. Like, just let's leave it at that. All right, next we have a Jacob Hill over from Deserto got 2 hot takes. Vegas will place top 4 at least one event, and Beans will be rookie of the year. The Vegas one, obviously, I could definitely see it. Not necessarily a fire take. take. Beans will be rookie of the year. Maybe a little bit of a fire take. It seems like the favorite right now is Scrappy, but I can definitely see Beans if it's a situation where he comes in with Boston and they end up winning an event, like kind of sets up nicely. Maybe resume beater over Scrappy. But right now, I think I put Scrappy as sort of the leader right now for rookie of the year. All right, we got Crone from CDL Intel coming in with the Ravens get 5 wins or less this season. I'm going to say hot take. I feel like maybe I'll take the over slightly on that, but yeah, I could see that they may be sort of the team at the bottom this season, either them or Florida. It's very much entirely possible. I hope this isn't the case, though. It'll be very disappointing if we get another kind of mixed season out of the boys from London. And the last one for the video from Newfie, Vegas will place top 4 at least once. Not a fire take. I can definitely see it. They have the talent to pull it out. Top 4 win an event. We'll see, but top 4, they can definitely do that. What a video, guys. A lot of good takes. Appreciate everybody that responded to that tweet. I'm going to do another one of those probably in a couple of weeks, maybe before Major 1. Let me know if you guys disagree with some of my assessments of some of those tweets in the comments. Like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys on the next one.